Thank you very much, guys. You know, this is a very special day, and it always is. The 20th time the South Carolina Honor Flight has made the trip from Columbia Airport right here in Columbia all the way up to our nation's capital to check out the World War II and the Korean monuments that are erected in honor of the millions of heroes that fought and protected our country back in World War II some 60, 70 years ago. Terry Pound with Honor Flight, South Carolina. Man, this is something really special.
It's amazing. The veterans are so special, and this trip means so much to them. Just the fact that they're getting together with each other another time.
Right, and you know, a lot of times they don't have the time, resources, whatever. Health means you can't take a day trip to Washington and to see that monument that's there. Yep. So these guys are going to get on the plane this morning, takes off in a couple hours or so, and you've got, hold on, the count is, you said 41 and 51? 50 and 40.
41 World War II veterans and 50 World War II veterans and 41 Korean veterans.
So just south of 100 heroes are going to be taking the trip. But what happens when they get this? We fly up, they have some nice onboard service, some coffee and all that.
Well, it's a surprise to them because once they get to Reagan and get off the plane, they don't expect a crowd of people greeting them. Right. And a lot of times the Honor Flight group in Washington will have a small band there to greet them.
Wow.
And there'll be probably 150 people just milling around the airport. They announced that we've got heroes coming in from Columbia, South Carolina. So they just show up.
Right. Now you've gone on all 20. Have you been on all 20?
Yeah.
What kind of? Tell me if you can set the picture of what you see when those guys walk up and see some memorabilia, see their name, maybe their buddies' names, whatever. What's that like?
Well, it's a mixture of emotions, as you can imagine, because we're all different. And when some have tears, some remember good things, and they laugh and they have a good time with each other. But it's a special time for each one of them in their own way.
Right. And they come back tonight, and of course, we'd love to have you come out as well and honor these heroes. Washington's going to have the heroes welcome for them, and we certainly want to have you give the heroes welcome when they come back tonight about 7:30. If you come to Columbia Airport, parking deck's open, parking is open. You come right here; it's right down by security. It's wide open. You don't have to go through security to get to this point here. But come down and just welcome these guys as they come off the plane, having spent the day, in Washington, sharing memories, laughing, crying.
I've had so many of the veterans say this is the best part of the day is when they return to Columbia and their friends greet them and welcome them back.
That is great. It's not going to cost you any money to come down either. Spend an hour or so this evening and just say thank you to these heroes. I mean, look at the numbers too. I mean, I think I read this morning in 2011 anyway, 670 World War II veterans die every day, and just from old age. But it just, these guys are not going to be around forever. So just take a second to say, hey man, thank you. Thank you. At the Honor Flight taking off this morning, the 20th. We're going to meet a couple of vets here in just a little while as well, live at the Columbia Airport. Guys, back to you. Guys, out of the 16 million or so veterans of World War II, for instance, the brave men and women who kept us free and safe so many years ago, out of that 16 million, only about 1 million are left throughout the entire world, and that number really is kind of small when you think about the amount of soldiers who kept us free and safe. Today it's about honor, and the 20th Honor Flight, leaving out of Columbia here in South Carolina, heading up to our nation's capital, check out the monument that was erected not only for the World War II veterans, but also for Korea. And speaking of World War II veterans, Dave.
Yes.
Dave Keegley, you jumped out of airplanes into hot territory. Is that what would make you want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane with an M16 or on your back? That's what I want to know.
Well, it was M1.
M1. My apologies.
Yes. Yeah, but no, I don't know.
Well, because Uncle Sam said, "Son, get out of this airplane," right?
Yeah. And then I can't remember the Air Force we were attached to.
Right.
But I know they would shake their head and want to know why we were jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Doesn't make any sense, no.
Tell me about it's World War II, so it's 1940, 41. You're living your life, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
You get a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
That says, "Keegley, come on."
Yeah.
What's going through your head?
What? You won't believe me.
Go ahead.
What went through my head was, well, I sort of hesitate to say it because they say a committee made up of your friends and neighbors.
Right. Thanks, Dad. Sure,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Yeah.
My friends? So I wound up in Japan.
Sure. Good gosh. And it's not. Now, did they give you any choice, or did they say you're the one jumping out of airplanes, or was it like a list? You go, well, let's see. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to jump.
No, we had the option of volunteering.
Okay.
I took my basic training at Fort Dix, New Jersey.
All right.
Signal Corps basic. Who
Sure.
knows? And when we got to the Yokohama,
Okay. And transferred into the airborne.
yeah, volunteered for the airborne.
Okay, we have just a couple of seconds left, but real quick, what do you think today, what are you looking forward to the most about going to Washington and seeing the memorial?
The Tomb of the Unknowns. I've been to Washington several times, and every time that is the main destination.
Right.
That I don't know, it just does something to you. I can't explain it, but it just does something to you.
All right, my friend Dave Kegley.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service to our country, my friend. It does mean a lot to everybody. So
Well,
thank you very much.
We appreciate you
Absolutely.
giving us a little time.
All
Thank
right,
you.
enjoy your flight. Have a safe time. It's going to be gorgeous in D.C., by the way. Anyway, guys, talking about honor, and we're just talking about respecting the men and women who kept us safe and free so many years ago. Don't forget, tonight you can check out, you can come actually welcome them back home tonight, 7:30. Be at this airport and say, welcome home, guys, and thank you. We're live at
Well,
the
now,
Columbia
who's the
Airport here.
other two?
Janet, friendy? All right, guys, thank you very much. Of course, we're talking about the honor flight number 20, leaving out of Columbia, heading to Washington, D.C., Reagan International Airport. Going to go to the World War II and Korea Memorial, and of course, stop by the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and over at Arlington National Cemetery. But we're talking about heroes, veterans of World War II, and of course, the Korean War. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for your service, first of all.
Thank you.
All right, Gary, tell me about your service.
Yes, I was in the U.S. Air Force in Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, and specifically at Wright Air Development Center, which was the research arm of the U.S. Air Force.
All right.
And I worked both on aircraft of the future and keeping the current aircraft safe and up to date.
And you say aircraft of the future. Of course, that was 1950 future, not
Yes.
so much today.
Yes.
What about you, Gene?
Yeah, I was at Fort Riley, Kansas. I was in the Army Transportation Corps. I headed up a transportation truck company and also the transportation motor pool.
Both Korean War veterans. Guys, so you're taking the flight today. Have you ever been up to see the memorials before?
No, I
Never
haven't.
have been. I'm looking forward to it.
What do you think? Why'd you say you heard about it? You read about it. Why'd you say, man, I got to be on that flight?
Well, I've always had tremendous respect for our service, all branches of our service, and I appreciate what they've done to keep us free. And for me, this trip is a way to express my patriotism and thanks.
Sure. Gene?
For me, I just looking forward to it. Never been to any of the war memorials, so I wanted to go. This was an opportunity to go, and I was honored to be asked.
You can bring some tissues, guys. I know we're big, tough men, but apparently it gets pretty emotional up there.
Yes.
You already? There's just about 100 of you guys who are going to be on this flight today. Of course, you got escorts as well. But have you had a chance to talk to some of the other guys, the other service members from World War II? Maybe you didn't know from Korea?
Not yet.
Not yet. You're going to
We'll get to know a lot of them before the day's over.
be a long flight.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
All right, guys. Once again, thank you for your
Thank
service to
you
your
so
country.
much.
There we
Right,
go.
right,
You missed
okay.
that. There we are.
Okay.
Guys, have a great flight. Thank you for coming out and enjoy the day. Enjoy the day.
Thank you very much.
You got it. Of course, some of the heroes, just 2 of the nearly 100 heroes are going to be taking the flight up to Washington, D.C. today for the 20th honor flight, South Carolina honor flight. Over the past, I think since 2008 or so, 20 flights have gone up just to give these guys a chance to see the memorial that's erected actually in their honor, and that's kind of cool. I want to ask you to come out and invite you to come out tonight at about 7:30 at this very airport. These guys are coming home, and we certainly love for you to come by. It's not going to cost you anything. In fact, they'll validate your parking at the parking deck to come in and just welcome these brave men home from the day in Washington, D.C. That's going to happen tonight at 7:30. But more details in our flight at WACH.com. Janet, Freddie?